Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we're diving into a report from Bowhead Specialty Holdings. It's not quite as exciting as discovering pirate treasure, but there are still some hidden gems or maybe some buried risks we can unearth. We'll see. Bowhead Specialty Holdings just took a big step that could mean they're planning some major moves. They've essentially prepped the field for raising money, and it might be sooner than you think. What does it mean for you and the company? That's what we will explore in this video. Before we jump in, if you appreciate getting clear explanations from corporate documents, make sure you're subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below where you can discuss more about these filings and other companies. So on June 6, 2025, Bowhead Specialty Holdings filed what's called an 8K form. This is basically a quick update they send to the Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC, about important events. Think of it as a corporate breaking news bulletin. An 8K form is like a company's way of saying, hey, something important happened and we want to let everyone know. It's a quick snapshot, not a full financial report. This form is used for unscheduled material events or corporate changes that are of interest to investors. Bowhead Specialty Holdings is the company we're talking about today. They're in the insurance business, focusing on areas like professional liability and other specialty coverage. They're not your everyday car insurance company. They deal with more complex and specific risks. This section is all about fair disclosure. Basically, Bowhead is making sure everyone gets the same information at the same time. This prevents anyone from getting an unfair advantage based on insider knowledge. It's all part of keeping things fair and transparent in the market. Here's the key point. On June 1, 2025, Bowhead became eligible to file something called a Form S3. This is a game changer because it allows them to more easily raise money by selling securities like stocks or bonds. Think of Form S3 as a fast pass for companies to sell securities. It's a simplified registration process that's available to companies that meet certain requirements, like having been public for at least a year and having a good track record of filing reports with the SEC. This makes it quicker and easier for them to raise capital when they need it. Bowhead didn't just file one S3 form, they filed two. One is a universal shelf for up to $300 million worth of securities. The other is specifically for securities held by some of their big investors, Gallatin Point Capital, American Family, and Stephen Sills. A shelf registration is like setting up a vending machine for securities. The company registers a certain amount of securities with the SEC and can then sell them whenever they see fit, without having to go through the whole registration process each time. The universal shelf means they can sell different types of securities like stocks or bonds under the same registration. This gives them a lot of flexibility. The company says they view the filing of the universal shelf as good balance sheet hygiene. In other words, they see it as a smart move to keep their options open and maintain a healthy financial position. It's like having a credit line available even if you don't plan to use it right away. They're also saying that nothing specific is imminent regarding raising capital. So while they've set the stage to sell securities, they're not saying they're about to do it right this second. This could mean they're waiting for the right market conditions, or they simply want to have the option available if an opportunity arises. The second S3 form, the registration rights shelf, is for securities held by American Family Mutual Insurance Company, GPC Partners Investments, and Stephen Sills. This is basically a way for these investors to be able to sell their shares in the company if they choose to. Bowhead is doing this to fulfill their contractual obligations under a previous agreement. When these investors bought their shares, they likely negotiated the right to register those shares with the SEC so they could sell them on the open market. This filing simply makes that possible. Importantly, the filing states that none of these investors has indicated a present intent to sell. Just because they have the option to sell their shares doesn't mean they're planning to do it right now. This is more about giving them the flexibility to do so in the future. Finally, the document is signed by Matthew Crucy, who is Bowhead's General Counsel and Secretary. This confirms that the company is officially standing behind the information in the report. Now, what does all this mean? Bowhead has essentially given themselves the green light to raise capital quickly if they need to. By filing the universal shelf, they've created a flexible tool that they can use to sell securities whenever they see fit. This could be for a number of reasons. They might want to fund an acquisition, invest in new growth initiatives, or simply strengthen their balance sheet. The registration rights shelf is more about fulfilling promises to early investors. It gives them the option to cash out some or all of their investment, which is a pretty standard arrangement. It's important to remember that Bowhead isn't saying they're definitely going to raise capital or that these investors are definitely going to sell their shares. They're simply putting themselves in a position to act quickly if the opportunity arises. Now let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture. Bowhead is operating in a complex and competitive insurance market. They face risks like changes in interest rates, economic downturns, and of course the possibility of big insurance claims. They also have opportunities. The demand for specialty insurance products is growing, and Bowhead has the potential to expand its market share and develop new products. Ultimately, whether this move is a success depends on how well Bowhead manages its risks and capitalizes on its opportunities. Alright, that's our breakdown of Bowhead's latest filing. What's your take on these filings and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.